And just like that, week one of the NFL season is over. But fear not, we're moving on to week two. We're moving on to Thursday Night Football on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast. A very warm welcome to everyone who found us last week. And welcome back to everyone who was with us anyway. It was a fantastic week one, Tom Collins, of NFL action. We had drama. We had some games that were boring. But most games lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, that Buffalo-Baltimore game was unbelievable. I hope everyone stayed up for that primetime fixture on Sunday. It was an early finish at like 4 a.m. I say early, kind of late, depending on how you see the timings. But it was a great game. Other games on Sunday, yeah, they were hit and miss. Like, there were some that lived up to expectations and some that didn't. I thought the Jacksonville game was particularly dull and didn't help us from a betting point of view. Both of us, unfortunately, failed to cop there. But we did land some nice bets, including both of our plays of the day on Sunday. And last Thursday Night Football, we had a winner too. So hopefully we can kick on from here. There should be like a record that we're going to keep on the video about here on my screen, similar on Luke's. And hopefully by the end of the season, this will read very kindly.
Yeah, don't look at mine because it's not started off. It started off okay. The play of the day went in, but
mate, it's all about how you finish and not how you start.
Exactly. I mean, this week I'm going to go like 17 from 17 anyway. So
that's bold.
Yeah, I'm not going to put up 17 selections, so it's going to be wild if that happens. But going back to last week, we talked about weather delays. We had a weather delay in the very first game. This is becoming a trend. We had it last year when I think it was the Chiefs kicked off the season. The game was late, and then Philadelphia, obviously the week just gone by, they went off the field with Dallas halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we had two weather delays as well, didn't we? With Jacksonville and Carolina as well. So it has become a theme. I'm not quite sure why we're getting so many weather delays in September. If this was December and we've got snow or, I don't know, something ridiculous, then I would understand it. But the first week of the NFL season seems to go hand in hand with weather delays. It's far from ideal, especially when it's a night game, because it just means we have to stay up for even longer. We are not missing a minute. But yeah, hopefully no more weather delays moving forward.
No, over here, so I got back from work. M25 was shut again, so I had a detour. But I got back about 1 a.m. Game starts 1:20. That's fine. I'm happy staying up. Get into, I think it was second half, and I'm like, I'll just stay up and watch the rest of the game. It's fine. I'll go to bed at 4. Then the weather delay comes in, and they're like, oh, so they're going to come back on the field in 55 minutes. And at this stage, it's already 3:15. I'm like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm happy going to bed. And to be honest, I went to bed happy. The Eagles were 4 points up. I had this -7.5. I was like, they're fine. They're going to cover on this. There wasn't another point.
Well, that's the other thing about weather delays, right? It completely changes the game. Teams lose momentum. They also obviously go back into the locker room and study what they should do to fix their defense and make their offense better. But always, after weather delays, defense comes out on top. We saw it on the Thursday Night Football matchup. As you say there, the game just petered out in the end. And it was kind of the same in the Jacksonville-Carolina one. For example, I had Chuba Hubbard over 63.5 rushing yards. In the first quarter, he had 33 yards. I'm sat there pretty. I'm like, well, this is absolutely going to land. We've got 3 quarters for it to happen. Then they come out of the weather delay. Carolina's offense just disappeared. I think they're still in the locker room, mate. He ended up having about 3 touches in the second half, one of which was a receiving touchdown, which didn't even count. So not only do weather delays mean that we don't get sleep, but it also means that the bets are completely thrown out the window.
Did you see that play where Bryce Young, on 4th and goal, just threw it out the end zone when Jatavian Sanders was wide open?
I did, yeah. It didn't look good. Not a good look.
No, literally I saw people going, under no circumstance will you ever throw the ball out the back of the end zone on 4th down. Just throw a pick. Just try and do something. It's like, do Brock Purdy. It worked for him. Rick Williams sucked. Right, let's move on. We have got a game this Thursday night. Washington taking on Green Bay in Green Bay. Just a quick recap of your first week. You must be pretty happy with your team.
Oh, we looked unbelievable, yeah, against Detroit Lions. Look, I thought it was a good matchup, as in it should have been competitive in week 1. Obviously, Detroit were way better than us last year, but our defense had all the hallmarks of being much better. Then you watch the game. The defense was incredible. It was like Detroit just didn't turn up. We stopped them every single asset of their offense. Jahmyr Gibbs, he wasn't great. He had 10 catches for 31 yards. I've never seen... Actually, pause. I think this is an NFL record that I read. Yeah, I've never seen anyone have double-figure catches for such a low yardage. It was incredible. Amon-Ra St. Brown was virtually redundant in the game. Jared Goff struggled. our defense was great and the offense was really good as well. So, yeah, I'm excited moving forward. This is a very good matchup for Green Bay as well against the Commanders. If we can go 2-0, Lions and Commanders, what a start.
That'll be a huge start. How about, by the way, Isaac Tesla?
Oh, what a grab. I mean, I will say that if the game was on the line and that happened in the final minute, I wouldn't be saying what a grab. I'd be going, oh my God, what happened there? But because we had the game sewn up, what a catch.
It's one of those ones where if it happens against you and it means nothing for the game, you're like, oh my God, that is amazing. And you actually celebrate it a little bit. But there are people out there that still go, wasn't a catch. Didn't get both feet in. He clearly did. Go and look on our shorts. We clearly did. They clearly did. Right. Green Bay, 3.5-point favourites against the Commanders. The over-under is 48 points, which I think is fair. 3.5-point favourites. Again, Tom, you guys should be. You're at home. Washington, they looked all right on week 1, but against the Giants, honestly, you're never going to learn a huge amount.
Yeah, I thought they were a touch lackluster in the early part of the game, to be fair. And you would anticipate Washington under Jaden Daniels would score more points on the Giants. But you did say in the preview last week, when we were talking about Sunday's fixtures, that New York actually do have an okay defense. So I think that came to fruition, and the Giants actually played well on D. Washington had the game sewn up from a long way, but they didn't go and win by a humongous margin, which many people probably would have expected. I'm sure Washington will improve from there, but they need some of their main guys to step up. The feature guys on Sunday were obviously Jaden Daniels and Ja'Cory Crossley Merritt. He was the feature, right? He had 10 carries for 82 and a TD. They need Terry McLaurin to stand up and play his part, because when Terry's in the game, their passing offense and passing attack is way more effective.
Who is that guy you mentioned? Ja'Cory
Crossley Merritt.
No, what? I don't know that name.
Why not?
Oh, do you mean Bill? You mean Bill? You mean Bill? I love that nickname, and he just, I don't know. He was listed as RB4 on the Commander's depth chart, and everyone came out and said, "Well, Bill's dead. We're not going to get Bill this year." And then Chris Rodriguez came out as a healthy scratch, and then it turns out they were lying, and he was never 4 on the depth chart. He was 2, and then he took over from Austin Eckler in week 1, and he looked good in doing so. However, running on the Green Bay Packers, it might be a little bit more difficult, but the fantasy community love Bill.
I like the fact well, let's go with Bill moving forward. Ja'Cory's a little bit of a mouthful.
Ja'Cory Crossley Merritt, what a rubbish name. Bill. I like the fact it was Bill from a young age as well. It's nothing to do with like anything. There was a character on a TV show called Bill, and people just called him Bill.
Superb.
Incredible. That's it. That's us done for the Turf and Touchdowns podcast this week. Thank you for watching, guys. Right, Tom, you've got 2 selections for Thursday Night Football. I've got 1. Hit me with your first one.
Obviously, I tried to treat this game as a neutral, though I am quite clearly a Packers fan. But both these bets are going to be on the Packers side of things. I do think our team is easy to play than Washington, unless you're focusing on Jaden Daniels, because he is basically the linchpin of that whole offense. For example, McLaurin was poor last week. Crossley Merritt wasn't expected to start and actually have as much of an impact as he did. So they're quite difficult to read. So I'm sticking with Green Bay for both of these selections. We're going to start with the one that is available across all bookmaking sites if you're in the UK, and hopefully in the US as well if you have sports books. And that is Matthew Golden over 36.5 receiving yards at 10-11. Now, the line was originally 39.5 here, but it's dropped down to 36.5, which makes it even more appealing. Head coach Matt LaFleur is the type to bring young players, rookies, into his offense slowly. He's not the type to just pitch them in and go and make your impact instantly. So last week's tally of 2 catches for 16 yards for Golden, look, it's not going to read great, but it was kind of anticipated. That being said, he was on the field for 47% of offensive snaps. And you're thinking, well, that's under half. I mean, come on, that's not a great statistic. Well, it was actually the second highest among our wide receivers. Romeo Doubs was the only one that topped that. He was out there for 70%, but he is the vet in the group right now. The fact that Golden actually was on the field for more than Jaden Reed, more than Dontavian Wicks, I think that's a good sign. And I mean, I expect that snap count to actually increase as we go through week 2, week 3, and he'll be a mainstay by week 4 and 5 when he becomes our wide receiver 1. If he's on the field for 50%-ish amount of time, I think he gets 3-4 catches in this game. And also, Washington are quite easy to throw on. Their corners are not great, to be honest. They are very gettable. We saw that last year in the playoff run. It just so happens the Giants are a pretty poor team on offense, so they couldn't do it. But Wandale Robinson, I believe, had 6 catches. Malik Neighbours had 5. So our wide receivers should make an impact. Jordan Love was extremely accurate first time up. He threw one terrible throw, which should have been picked, and it wasn't. That came just before an actual interception. Yeah, I think Matthew Golden's a good play in here. Over 36.5 receiving yards. I expect a career best display, which, to be honest, isn't exactly difficult considering he only caught for 16 yards last week.
Yeah, we got a game span of 2
Yeah.
for that one. But look, career best is career best.
Yeah.
Glass half full and all that. Matthew Golden hopefully has a good week for the Packers. I'm going to go the other side of the ball, albeit I was very close to taking both sides of the ball, because I think in the passing attempts market, I think both quarterbacks are live. Jordan Love's is 29.5. I think that's fair, albeit I don't like how you guys use Jordan Love. You should let him throw the ball a lot more than he does and stop giving the ball so much to Josh Jacobs. For all that he gets touchdowns, great. There were a few games last year that you lost because you gave the ball to Josh Jacobs way too much. Over 29.5, I think, is okay. But I love Jaden Daniels in this. Over 31.5 passing attempts, that is. 31.5 passing attempts. I think he hits the overs on that. Look, last year, the thing we learned, Jaden Daniels, he loves passing the ball. Even when he's not necessarily meant to pass the ball, he passes the ball. We saw the last 4 games of last season, 31, 39, 36, and obviously 12, but he only played a part of the game against Dallas. For the majority, he was upwards of 30 as well. You go to week 1 of this year, he played against the Giants, where honestly, it was a game that the Commanders were winning from pretty much start to finish. He still threw the ball 30 times. He's going to have to throw the ball a lot more against Green Bay. They're the underdogs. They're on the road. Green Bay will put points up. And also, Green Bay with Micah Parsons now in their lineup, they're going to get a lot more pressure on the quarterback. They're going to make Jaden Daniels escape the pocket. He doesn't always run when he escapes the pocket. He will try and find his checkdowns. He'll try and find whoever's easiest. Normally it's Zach Ertz, honestly, who again was found last week. But there are plenty of guys in the receiving game for Jaden Daniels to try and target in that sort of environment. I think over 31.5, Tom, is well, I think it's quite a low line for Jaden Daniels. I could see this being a game where maybe he has to throw the ball even upwards of 40 times. This might be the time of his career where he throws the ball the most.
Yeah, I like it, especially if Washington go down early and our defense is as good as we showed against Detroit, then he will be basically given the ball every possible opportunity to make something happen. That is the Washington offense anyway. He does run the ball a fair bit, which will be frustrating for you, I'm sure, during the game. You'll be like, no, throw it, Jaden. Don't run it again, because I think he had 11 carries last week or 10, something similar to that. But I'm sure he'll just get the ball in his hands and be asked to make something happen. And if that's the case, he's going to get quite a few passing attempts. Crucially, what you said there was that sometimes with the pressure, he shouldn't throw the ball, but he does throw the ball. And you mentioned Micah Parsons, and our pass rush last week was incredible. Rashawn Gary was great. Micah Parsons, obviously, first time playing for the Packers. He didn't get as many pressures as you would anticipate, but the one sack he did get was phenomenal. And if you go back through Parsons' statistics, 13 sacks in the last 14 career NFL games, stretching the whole of last season and the start of this. I mean, it's incredible. Even the prior year was phenomenal. So I like Micah Parsons to get a sack here. 5 to 6 is the price. Now, the disclaimer is that I'm not sure this market is available with all firms. Mm-hmm. It is available with the biggest firm in the UK. Without saying who that is, you should understand who I'm talking about. So if you did want to play this bet, maybe use that firm if you have the account. If not, you're going to have to look to see if your bookmaker offers it. But Micah Parsons, to record a sack of 5 to 6 is my second selection. He was good last week. You can double team him. It doesn't stop him. Did you see how bad the Washington right tackle was last week against the Giants?
Yeah, was it Brian Burns just ran right by him?
Yeah, he's a rookie out of Oregon called Josh Connolly. He's not great at this stage of his career. And I think that's fair to say. I don't want to be harsh on him. Obviously, he's only a rookie. It was his first NFL game, but he looked pretty terrible. Jaden Daniels was sacked 3 times last week. I think that number increases this week. I was tempted, actually, by the Rashawn Gary 7 to 5 to record a sack. But I'm going to go for the obvious. The Micah Parsons, he records a sack in every game. So at 5 to 6, give me those odds.
Would you double up Micah Parsons? Speaking of things that happen every game, Micah Parsons to record a sack and Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown, because that happens every game. He's 10 straight at the moment.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I would. It wouldn't put me off. He is a short enough price, isn't he? I think he's.
Yeah,
I
5 to 8.
saw. Yeah, 5 to 8. I mean, what are those odds all about?
Mm.
Let's just go with 4 to 6 or something similar. But yeah, I would say that they are highly likely to happen. I just prefer the 5 to 6 about Parsons than the 5 to 8 about Jacobs.
How much do you feel for the rookie right tackle we just spoke about for Washington? Week 1, go and play Brian Burns. Week 2, oh, Micah Parsons in town. Week 3, you got Max Crosby to worry about in Vegas. It's like, come on. It's like,
Yeah.
welcome to the NFL, kid.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's a real tough look. I'm sure they're going to give him help this week based on what happened last week, but you can only help a guy that much. Like every snap, you're not going to be able to double team one pass rusher. And even if you do with Parsons, he can still beat you both. So, yeah, I do feel for him, but it's a learning curve, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. Things will improve, and they will improve for the majority of teams. But let's recap our selections for Thursday night football. Before we do that as well, please do subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Helps us out massively. And we did our first Pick 6 Club meeting. That's what I'm calling it anyway, which is our YouTube memberships. We'll leave the link down below. If you want to get involved with it, then you'll get a Monday Night Football preview. You'll get plenty of Woodbine content as well on the horse racing side of things. So I'll be off to Canada in a few days' time, but we'll be adding tons more content into the Pick 6 Club. So click the link down below. You can get access to loads more. Tom, you did 2 selections. I'll let you go first.
I did, yeah. I don't usually do 2 selections on a Thursday game, but I do feel like with the Packers, I kind of have to. My selections on Thursday Night Football in week 2 are Matthew Golden over 36.5 receiving yards at 10 to 11, and Micah Parsons to record a sack in the game at 5 to 6. With that latter bet, as I said earlier, make sure you check your firm to see if they are offering the market. It is available with one of the biggest bookmakers, though.
They are the 2 for Tom. For me, I'm playing it simple, just the one. Jaden Daniels over 31.5 passing attempts. If he goes over 32 passing, doesn't matter. Bet still lands. That's 10 to 11. I think that's a very fair line. It's a very fair price as well. So Jaden Daniels over 31.5 passing attempts. This is the point of the show where we normally advertise everything that's still to come. But honestly, we've got a very busy week on the Having Touchdowns podcast, and we're fitting it in. We will try to record our Sunday slate preview a little bit later on today. We're going to try and do a Woodbine Mile preview, but at the moment it is hellish and we have no time at all. So we'll update you guys on that. But this is the I think this is the first time, Tom, where our schedules have completely conflicted in the opposite way.
It is in over a year as well. So yeah, it's going to be tough, but we'll definitely get the NFL Sunday video out. I don't really know what the dynamics of that video will be because player props aren't currently live. We're going to wait as long as we can to see if they are. But make sure you do watch that when it comes up on the YouTube channel, probably Thursday, as per usual. But hopefully you enjoyed this video at the very least. And what I want to know is, I'm going to start to do this now in the videos moving forward. What is everyone's best selection out of our 3? And we need to know pre-game, by the way. Don't start sending these like in hindsight comments down below. But I want to know which one of the 3 selections we've put up that you prefer. Get your opinion out there. Why not?
Yeah, I like it. Also, Tom, high five the screen if you're 1-0 in the Listener League.
Yeah, come on.
Take that, listeners. You suck.
Yeah, it's good to get off to a good start. Could you imagine, by the way, if we ended the Listener League like 0-14 or whatever it is? That would have been just dismal.
Expected it, albeit I've already lost Drake London, which is disappointing. He's out for a couple of weeks now. But right, that's it done for the Thursday Night Football preview. Thank you very much for your support. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, one other thing, we will be starting up a Telegram group this week, just so you guys could get notifications quicker and you guys can talk. It creates more of a community. It's nice. Everyone be friends. We will be doing that. That will possibly be in the description. If not, it will be in the Sunday Slate description. That is something new. Turf and Touchdowns podcast, Thursday Night Football, over and out. Stay safe. Look after another. Goodbye.